Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. We discuss 6 questions in 9 minutes because leaders know how to be concise. Let's start with our guest today. Our first question. In a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hello, thanks, Sean. My name is Jim Connor. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I own a couple of startups, the founder of Ocean Ring Technologies, Flexible Sites. These are, from my background, I'm in development for 15 years. So what I wanted to do was to provide a way that I could lend my technical background and development skills to those that were in need of it. So nonprofits, startups that did not have a lot of funding, but they had a great idea and they're looking to make a positive social impact in their community. So that's pretty much who I am. I'm basically a social impact technologist looking to use my skills to help improve the communities, our world, and work with those that are looking to do exactly the same thing.
That is fantastic. I really like that approach. We're trying to help others kind of accomplish what they need to do, especially in the nonprofit realm. So that's fantastic.
Mhm.
Question number 2. What's the best thing about working with a team?
I would say the best thing is that if I'm not feeling it, we have those days, right? Where we just can't get going. We're just not into it. It's just for whatever reason, we're burnt out, and we just say, hey, look, I'm going to work for a couple hours, take care of any high priority things. And if anybody needs me, just send me a message or email. And as a team, we all understand that. We all understand that, there's going to be times that we're just not feeling it and tired, or we just need, there's an opportunity to take advantage of with family. So, those things I really appreciate, because the team, not that it happens every, a lot, but the fact that as a team, we have that option. Whereas if it's just you and there's a project and there's a deadline, and if you don't work that day, you're going to miss that deadline. Just having that option is really stress relieving.
That's a great point. I like that perspective because you're right. The team can help kind of boost up those that maybe are, for whatever reason, lagging just a bit, whether it's a temporary day-long thing or there's a season of life where they're struggling for whatever reason. So that's a great perspective.
Right. Mm.
Question number 3. I hear from other leaders of teams that it can be a challenge to get team members engaged. Tell us your thoughts.
It is one of the things about our team that's a little bit unique is the fact that we work with a lot of nonprofits. We can see our impact. We can see that we make a difference in communities. So it's not so much as a challenge for when you can put that in perspective to say, hey, look, if we help build this technology, then this nonprofit, this organization will be able to make more of a difference. So for example, we work with schools in Sierra Leone over in Africa, and they're moving from pencil and paper tracking of students' information. And we just created a very simple application for them to be able to track between all the schools. And it helps their teachers be more efficient. Now they don't have to, look for paperwork that they did last year, or they can look up a student and see all their history immediately. So those kind of things, team members stay engaged.
So connecting them with that vision is a really big piece, obviously, of what you do. I think that's a great approach. Question number 4. What other piece of advice do you have for leaders of teams?
So one of the advices that I was granted by probably in another podcast that I was listening to, and it just stuck with me, is that this leader said, when someone does something good, you want to do it publicly. You want to praise them publicly. You want to talk about, hey, look, thanks for taking care of this, in front of other people. It's not a big deal. Not everybody's going to appreciate, that. They don't necessarily want their accolades to be broadcast, but it's better, to do it. For me, it's better just to say, hey, thanks for taking care of that. But when somebody makes a mistake, no way do I do it in public. No way do I do it, talk to them when someone else is there. I usually say, take them in a personal conversation, one-on-one conversation, and say, hey, look, you do really well with this, but this mistake right here, this was the, this is what happened, and this is, what we need to do to rectify it for next time. Or talk with that person, say, hey, what happened? Get their side of the story before you go into like, hey, that cost our client, 3 hours of downtime. But you do that privately. You don't do it in front of other people. I've been in calls where somebody started just getting on their team members in the middle of the call, and I just thought that was very unprofessional. So for me, no, everything is private and one-on-one.
That is really good advice. I appreciate you sharing that, because boy, I certainly wish that more of our leaders would follow that and be very careful about how they provide correction, or when they provide it, and where and in what setting. But that's great advice. I really like that. Question number 5, what other successful leaders of teams would you like to recognize that have had a positive influence in your life?
So I've had a couple of mentors that have, if anyone is an entrepreneur or looking to build a company or something, I would say you're going to need someone that's done it before, someone that can give you some insight. You're going to get stuck. You're going to just want to get a second opinion. For me, one of those mentors is the CEO of another tech company in Philadelphia, PromptWorks. His name is Greg Sterndale. He's met up with me numerous times. Just not even having an agenda. It's just showing up and being present and listening. Like, hey, this is what I'm running into, and then giving his opinion. There's also. But also, I look at what other leaders are doing. So Kate Kumbo, who is the executive director of Peace Jam organization, she works with over 14 Nobel laureates around the world. So just to see her interactions and professionalism and her energy all the time is something that I admire. And at the same time, she lets her team she just puts them out there. Like, hey, look, I need you to take care of the situation, and then not much guidance, and say, hey, look, I trust that you'll figure it out, but this is what we need to do. This is what the goal is. I'm not sure I'm at that point yet, but the liberty she gives to some of her team members is definitely admirable.
That's really impressive, because delegating and then trusting it to get done, that's a tough one for a lot of leaders. We all have that natural instinct to want to micromanage it, and she is obviously demonstrating the right way to do it. So thank you for recognizing both of those individuals. Last question, tell us about your first job.
My first job was at a Subway, and it was a brand new Subway that opened up down the road from my house. I guess I was about 15. And apparently I didn't work out either. So like after the first 3 months, I was the first one to go. So it was my first job. I mean, it wasn't like I was late all the time or anything like that. It was just a matter of I was the youngest team member, and then there were other people that were more responsible and needed less. They needed less, micromanaging. Just like you said. Whereas me, it's like, if you didn't tell me to do it, I didn't do it. Like, I was just, okay, I'm here. What do you want me to do? Okay, do that. And now what? Like, it wasn't a matter of, and that's why I learned that there's things, if there's something that you can do, then go ahead and do it. So even though it was only 3 months, there was a learning experience for me.
Thank you for sharing that. It's always interesting to listen to the guests talk about their first experience and what they learned from it. So I appreciate you sharing that. And Jim, thank you also for being on the podcast today. How can people find you?
People can find me on LinkedIn. If they look up James Conner and find Ocean Rig Technologies, they will find my profile. I'm not a big social person, so I don't have a Twitter account that I use regularly, or Facebook or anything like that. But I'm definitely on LinkedIn all the time. If they want to check out Flexible Sites and they have a nonprofit or organization that could use our help, then by all means, they can go to the flexiblesites.com website, fill out a form, and they'll probably be having a conversation with me to go over how the Flexible Sites platform can help them.
That's fantastic. Thank you for your generosity. This is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders and teams share their insights. For more ideas, go to teamengagementpodcast.com and download our engagement booster tip sheet. Again, teamengagementpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening and joining with us today. Have a great day.